nation together. As they come,
I say, come, let we build a nation together. This is our nation, and we have to build it. We have to make it better for this generation, yes, but for the next generation and the next generation. It's like you having a piece of land and you construct a home or a house on it. You're not just constructing that house for you to live in now. In the back of your mind, you will say, well, my child or my children or my grandchildren will inherit it. It will be a little easier for them knowing that they have a place to rest their heads. They may not want to live there, they may want their own, but there is that reassurance. If they need to rest their weary heads and soul and body, they can go there and nap. They can go there and stay. No headache. They wouldn't be on the streets. And so we have to see our country. How can we make it better for the next generation and the next generation? Because we are so accustomed to the Keith Mitchell style of politics, the NNP style of politics, where it's all confrontational, it's all bacchanalish, it's the same old way of doing things for many years. It is time to appreciate change. It is time to innovate. It's time to create. It's time to come up with new ways and things and, formula and formats and strategies to make this place better. Because there are a lot of other countries who are striving, who are moving forward, who are doing new things and seeing results. So we have to appreciate what the most honorable Deacon Mitchell and his team are doing. They're transforming this place step by step by step. It can't all be done in one term. No. But you have to look at what the other side is offering versus what we have. And then you make your own decision. When you look at the people who are speaking on the other platform, do you really trust these people? Do you believe that these people can actually come in government and usher in something new, something innovative, something creative, something with ingenuity, something futuristic, something with vision? Or will they cause the country to regress instead of progress, instead of move forward? Think about it. And that's something to ponder upon, because we can see who will really be a part of the NNP government. If they win, we can see. I mean, we know that they're not going to be back in power. But I'm saying, just look at them. They're the ones who want to form government. And you wonder, because they were there 20 years ago, 30 years ago, some of the same people, they entered the politics 30 years ago, 42 years ago. Come on, do you expect that you're going to get anything creative, anything new, anything smart, anything with vision coming from them? I doubt it. I doubt it. Folks, let us start off this morning with a piece of positivity, positive news, where a parent is talking about the school bus initiative that the government rolled out and how beneficial that has been for her with her two children.
Hi, my name is Rhonda Penny and I live at Beaulieu. I have two children that is part of the transportation program. One goes to primary school and the other one goes to secondary school. My experience with the school bus, I would say it has been quite an interesting one. it has been very helpful, I would say, to me and also to my children in terms of being a little bit more punctual. And it also assists in terms of, let's say, avoiding the traffic, I would say, because of the time that they would pick them up, right? Yes, it's very early, and I would say, but it's understood, right? Because we know what the situation is with currently with the traffic situation, and what you find happening is that most of the time people are stuck in traffic. The children tend to get to school late, but it's workable in that it would allow the children to be at school early, and they are excited. That was one of the issues I had prior to coming onto the school bus. Sometimes my daughter would have to be outside. Like if she doesn't catch the bus, that's the bigger one, the secondary school child. If she doesn't catch the bus, like let's say at 7:15, she would have to wait like sometime a whole half an hour, or sometimes she gets a bus at 8 o'clock in the morning. And it's really late because of the traffic. So that's one of the advantages, and I'm saying it's a plus because it's been working for me and the kids. The children are excited to get onto the bus in terms of the fact that they have a card. They will get up in the morning. I mean, as I mentioned, I have two children. One is secondary and the other one in primary. The primary school one, she's very protective of her card. So the card goes in a special purse. After school, it have to go, you have to secure it. And she's always protective. So it's a big thing, so it's a good thing for them. I mean, in terms of being punctual and understanding that, okay, well, I have this piece of card, or that I have to. It's very important and it needs to be safe, so it's working. Another feature, I would say, a feature that I really that I enjoy, or that seems to be impressive with the transportation commission, I would say, is that of once the children scans the card, like once they enter onto the bus, an email would come through my phone, and it would say, okay, well, the Maya was picked up. Once she leaves the bus, then it would also, I think she would also have to scan, and it would say, okay, well, the Maya was dropped off at this location at this time. So it brings a form of, let's say, relief, I would say, as a parent, to know, okay, when my child is on the school bus, and I can also monitor it as well. Okay, well, it's 2:50, she's on the bus, and she's gonna be dropped off at that time. So it's helpful. Yeah, that's what I would say. In terms of challenges, if we were to look at that, I would say the buses, the drivers, sometimes what you find happening, and I want to believe too, as parents, once, let's say, the children, if your children you're not preparing your children on time, it will pose a problem. So let's say the bus has to pick up at 6:40, and your child is the first child to pick up. If your child is not ready for 6:40 and the driver have to wait for you for 10 minutes, it means that everybody else on the list to be picked up is going to be late. And what you would find happening now is that they would tend to get stuck in traffic, right? And we don't want that to be happening. I know some drivers were kind of frustrated, saying, okay, well, I'm late because this one had me waiting. And sometimes, the children on the bus, or my children, would say, okay, mommy, we're early, and then we have to wait 10 minutes or 15 minutes for this person, or, a long time for that child. And then sometimes they're not ready. Eventually they'll say, go on. So that is something I would say to us parents, we need to understand it's a program, it's a pilot that we were doing. It's a program that I think that, it is very helpful, useful, and, once everything is, all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed, it can be effective and very useful for the children. It's just a matter of parents having to be responsible, and I think it can work well. The transportation program, the bus program, has saved me a lot, I would say, cost-wise. because as I mentioned, I have 2 children. So throughout the period, the pilot program, I don't have to worry much about providing the children with, money to go to school, like let's say covering the transportation aspect of it. So I would appeal and I would say to all parents, it's an opportunity. You're given, you don't have to pay the bus, right? And even if we have to pay, then it may be something small, but at this time there's no fees that's attached to it. So we should grab onto it. It's an opportunity. It helps you to save and it works fine. It's just that you have to get up early, prepare the children, and it's also a good thing to, let children know that we have to rise early in the morning. It's a good discipline, I would say, right? So all in all, I would say it's a great program.
Yes, so that's a parent sharing her thoughts and also speaking about the benefits of that program. It's a pilot, so they roll it out in a number of parishes to test it, to get feedback, to get recommendations, to seek to perfect it, and then they're going to roll it out officially in all the parishes so that the students can get to school on time and return home on time. I really love it. So I want to applaud the Transport Board Commission for the work that they are doing, and we hope that they can get enough feedback from parents, from the same students, to make it better. So when they officially launch it, then it would be, without too much hiccups and flaws and so on. So kudos, thumbs up, and that's an initiative of the government of Grenada. That's wonderful because, in Grenada we have a lot of private buses. So they team up with the private bus operators and they roll out such an initiative, and everybody's smiling. I love that. Another positive news here again, training for farmers to revitalize the pineapple industry.
Farmers in Carriacou and Petite Martinique now have access to 2,000 disease-free, high-quality pineapple plants from Costa Rica. The plants are part of an initiative by the World Bank's Food Security Enhancement Project to revitalize the pineapple industry in Grenada. A total of 70,000 plants were received. Coordinator of the project, implemented by the Ministry of Agriculture, Lands and Forestry, Ronald O'Neill, is currently in Carriacou to train ministry officials and farmers on pineapple care and management and other planting techniques. O'Neill outlines how the program is structured to ensure strategic planting and flower induction, aiming for staggered harvests and longer availability.
At the ministry, they're going to establish a nursery in Dumfries and using about 1,000 plants, and the rest of the plants would be handled with farmers. We are doing this first training, which is an introduction and showing about the planting, how you do the staggering so that you can have production for a longer period, because normally pineapples would flower at one period in the year and then you have a fruit 5 months after. So you have fruits mainly during a 3-month period. The management practice that we are going to explain here will explain how you can stagger the plantings and do a treatment that is called flower induction, and you can have fruits throughout the year.
He outlined some of the care techniques for pineapple plants.
Water is a major issue here in Carriacou. Carriacou is known to be dry, Carriacou and Petite Martinique. So some of the techniques that we are going to explain here is how do you get the plant to establish a strong root system in the beginning. If you have a strong root system, it is better able to utilize the little water in the soil and the nutrients. Pineapple also is a crop that is fairly adapted to fairly dry conditions. However, when it's very dry, you have to take measures. If it is not able to wet to irrigate, then you have to mulch the crop to conserve whatever moisture is in the soil.
Farmers Domfield Stanislas and Terry Eno are excited about the prospects for the industry.
I learned about the water problem, the spacing of the pineapple. But my thing is, if we plant it, is there going to be a market for it? What are you going to do with 100 pineapples and you can't sell it? Did you all think about that? Creating a market for us? I haven't seen pineapple in Carriacou. I've seen one or two people have about 4 or 5 plants. But it's not something that I've seen growing here like cassava or corn or peas. But it's a good fruit. I think with this product, if we farmers plant it and you get the education with the fertilizer, we should have a good crop. And I'm interested in a couple of plants. Definitely, I want to give it a shot.
And they show you how to plant them, like the different like far apart, like 18 inches or 2 feet apart or whatever, and so that they could sustain water and they could grow faster. It's not too hard. It just takes a little time, and people just have a little patient. And because one plant just take like a year. And like take a year to grow and then 5 months to fruit.
Yeah, so that's a good initiative because I could tell you I normally buy the pineapple in the pan. I think it's a deal, a dollar, whatever the name of the brand. I normally buy pineapple in the pan, the can. All right, and it comes from the United States or somewhere in South America. But it's very sweet, and you get the exact amount that, they tell you a pound is a pound, you get it. It may not be as healthy as what is grown here. So it's a good initiative, a very, very good initiative if you ask me. I love pineapples. I use it in smoothies and punch and so on. But it's a good move. It's a good move. It's a good move. And if you have a lot, then the price will go down. So it's a good variety they've introduced. And if you have a lot on the market, then the price will be reasonable and more people will consume it because it's fairly expensive to buy one in the market. And when you cut it, what you're getting from it is not really what the cost, if you ask me, because there is so many things you have to remove from it. When you really check it out, you're not getting much out of it. But still, I think it's a good move on the part of the government. 70,000 plants, they're distributing that. Cargo getting, I think it's what, 20, what is it, 2,000 or 20, 2,000, I think. 2,000? I just can't remember the number, the amount. Is it 7,000 or 70,000?
Farmers in Carriacou and Petite Martinique now have access to 2,000
Cargo getting 2,000.
disease-free, high-quality pineapple plants from Costa Rica. The plants are part of an initiative by the World Bank's Food Security Enhancement Project to revitalize the pineapple industry in Grenada, a total of 70,000 plants.
Right. So 70,000 plants. Okay, my mind, I have a good mind, a good memory. Thank God for that. Right. So it's 70,000 plants. I would love for that to all bear nicely and have that on the market. So you get more pineapples in the schools, you get more pineapples at the hospital, you get more pineapples in government facilities where they sell stuff because it's very healthy. It's a healthy fruit. So I love that. I really do. If you just think about it, if you have fruit bowls being dished out at schools, sometimes you have a lot of watermelons, you have a lot of pineapples, oranges. You have a lot of. There's another one. that when it's plentiful, it's plentiful. But anyways, they can mix it in that bowl and serve it to the children. That would be really wonderful. That's a good move on the part of the government. If you ask me, 70,000. Wow. They also revitalizing the coconut industry. They're also introducing apples to Grenada. So pineapple, coconut, apple. There's another one that they rolled out, Can't remember off the bat, but there's another variety that they've introduced to Grenada. Can't recall. But it augurs well for agriculture, the farmers on the Sister Isles, and also here in Grenada. Moving on, folks, there is hatred, there is jealousy on the part of Keith Mitchell and the NNP every time they speak. Every time they speak, they're angry, they're bitter. They would say one then they would say something now. They're hurting. Emlyn Pay, Keith Mitchell, all of them, they are hurting because they never thought that this young man with this young team of men and women will defeat them at the polls. All right? I saw this piece and I had to laugh.
A government comes forward in any serious proposal that works in the interest of the country, I'm going to be the first to support it. So they can look forward to far more cooperation from me than maybe I got. But that's, as I say, that's life and that's politics. And I want to don't water down the victory of the National Democratic Congress. They deserve it because the people wanted it. And therefore I wish them the best, and I wish them the best in the interest of the country.
A few years later.
It hurts me when I hear people talking nonsense after the sacrifice of these people. Because you get something, you don't know how the hell you get it. But show respect for it. And this idiot gonna come and tell us nothing happened in Grenada since 1983. Get something, you don't know how the hell you get it. But show respect for it. And this idiot gonna come and tell us nothing happened in Grenada since 1983.
Yeah, so this guy is hurting. Keith Mitchell is hurting because he never thought that this young man with his team of men and women will defeat him at the polls. He's hurting badly, and sometimes you have to pity him because he thought that Grenada belonged to him and he had the wheel for this piece of rock, right? It's sad, and the guy is bitter, and you listen to his words and his gesticulation, and just look at everything, his body, everything. Look at him in the past, when he was in power and NDC defeated him.
Comes forward in any serious proposal that works in the interest of the country, I'm going to be the first to support it. So they can look forward to far more cooperation from me than maybe I got. But that's, as I say, that's life and that's politics. And I want to don't water down the victory of the National Democratic Congress. They deserve it because the people wanted it. And therefore I wish them the best, and I wish them the best in the interest of the country.
Right, so that's Keith Mitchell then. That was Keith Mitchell then. And, now...
A few years later.
It hurts me when I hear people talking nonsense after the sacrifice of these people. Because you get something, you don't know how the hell you get it. But show respect for it. And this idiot gonna come and tell us nothing happened in Grenada since 1983.
Yeah, so Keith Mitchell, he's hurting. And he's hurting bad. Come the next election, he would get what he rightly deserved. You believe that he got a bad licking in the last election? Well, the one to come that would be a movie. Don't worry, NNP. They get in one cut skin come the next election. It would be a movie. You'll be shocked at the seats that the NDC will gain. It's just a matter of time when the election is close. Okay, see, Grenadians are fed up with Keith Mitchell type of politics. And Emlyn Pay has not been her own person. She doesn't come with her own style. She's still with the Keith Mitchell type of politics. The rancor, the bitterness, the jealousy, the complaining, the grinding, the groaning. You know, the visionless leader. That is Keith Mitchell and the NNP. She has never been able to write her own chapter. She entered the political fray, but she never came with uniqueness. She never came with her own bag of goodies. She's carrying Keith Mitchell's load and burden. The guy is bitter. But the next election, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't see nothing yet. But I play this because you need to know that when a person is hurting, the things they would say, the things they would do may not be normal. So Keith Mitchell going on the stage and talking about John T's death and about Neil Franklin's death and that he's worried and concerned about what is happening here in Grenada and politically and otherwise. This guy's a fake, in my belief. He's a political fake. But they know what they're doing, huh? They're doing all of these things for outside consumption, not for domestic, for outside. Because internationally, they want to trigger something. Don't fool yourself. They're doing these things because, look, Keith Mitchell and all of the folks in NNP who are speaking and complaining and grinding and they don't genuinely love Grenada. They love power. They want power. And they don't care how they meet Grenada. They don't care what state Grenada is in. All they want is power. Because when they have power, they can do all kinds of stuff to people. Right? At the end of it all, Grenadians took power away from them. Keith Mitchell has millions of dollars and he's still not satisfied because he doesn't have power. You see, money is one thing, but power and money is what many people strive for. That is why the rich people tend to cozy up to politicians. Because when they need certain things done, even if they have the money, they still have to pick up the phone. And they want to be able to call certain people who have power. So he's hurting because of that. He's hurting. And that will continue. And to be hurting at 78, 79 years, it's really painful. It must be painful. Folks, I am happy also that people are seeing through Emlyn Pay. I got a lift yesterday to St. George's, and there were 3 people in the vehicle. And the gentleman said to me, Emlyn Pay is worse than Keith Mitchell. And I said to him, well, I just said that this morning. He said, yes. He said he has been saying that for a long, long time. And everybody in that vehicle agreed, right? Hello? Yeah, good morning. Yeah, but you're calling me during my program. Are you aware of that?
Okay, sorry, I didn't know.
Okay.
Okay. No,
All right.
I want to come to St. George's and I really want to meet with you.
Oh, you want to meet with me?
Yes, I want to have a chat with you.
Okay.
I want to come to St. George's sometime next week.
Okay. All right. You want to speak to me regarding what?
Yes, certain things
Okay.
that happen that going through with me, man, and the way I get
Okay.
kind of treatment.
All right. No problem. All right. No problem. All right. So sometime next week. No problem. Sometime next week. All right? Nice. No problem. All right. No problem. Nice. Same to you. Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. So, yeah, so the three in that vehicle, three people, they don't live in the same house, but all of them agree that Emlyn Pay is worse than Keith Mitchell. I consider Keith Mitchell politically to be a pathological liar. He's a chronic liar. But Emlyn Pay, based on what we continue to see and hear from her, she's worse than Keith Mitchell. And you see, when you are a leader, you have to come with your own style, your own qualities, and you have to instill trust, because people have to trust you. If they can't trust you, then you will not get anywhere. But in that conversation, those three individuals, they are saying that this government is working in the best interest of people. And they are noticing it. And that is what is important. When you go on the ground and you listen to people. Because the folks who call the Plead Your Cause program in the morning, they're the same 5, 6, 7, 8 people in 30 minutes. Same 10 people every morning. The folks who call the To The Point program, same 10, 12 people every morning. But when you go on the ground, the people who don't call into programs, you hear from them. You get to know where they stand. When you go out in the diaspora, like I do, I get a feel as to where the people stand. When you follow social media and you read comments and you see patterns, you get to know where people stand. Look, when a person comments, you get to know where they heading. What are their views? So Emlyn Pay, I played a piece yesterday, and many people looked at it and said, but wait, this woman, she goes to church. This woman
to travel the world.
To be a Christian, a woman of the cloth. She prays. I want to assume she speaks in tongues, like Jonathan Lacrette did at Nilon's funeral, and had a lot of people wondering, is this Laco? Is this Laco? Right? So I expect her to be honest. I expect her to be sincere. I expect her to be genuine. But when I listen to this woman speak and made certain statements regarding our beloved Prime Minister, and mind you, she should know where our Prime Minister is, because the government puts out a release every time our beloved Prime Minister leaves the state of Grenada. On the GIS page and other pages, there will be a release saying where he's going and for what purpose. So don't tell me a person who is the leader of a party and the leader of His Majesty's opposition doesn't know, and she would go on a stage and make all of these false claims and pronouncements. It is dangerous for our democracy.
While sectors in this country are struggling to survive, to make ends meet, our Prime Minister continues to create reasons to leave this country. Brothers and sisters, one of the recent reasons given to us is that he's going to Venezuela to negotiate between the Venezuelan government and the U.S. government. Brothers and sisters, I say to you, this must be another PR stunt from a Prime Minister that doesn't seem to care about what is happening here in Grenada. Because I say to you, while he leaves this country to mind the business of Venezuela and the U.S., brothers and sisters, ministers of his cabinet are losing their visa and he cannot do anything about it. Brothers and sisters, while he leaves Grenada to go to Venezuela to meddle in the business of Venezuela and the U.S., fishermen are being slapped with a ban that in this country. Local producers, small businesses are on a ban and they cannot send their produce to the U.S. through the Grenada Postal Corporation.
Sad about all of this is the fact that we are living in a technological age where people can actually Google or search, use whatever search engine and get the information. So people know that our beloved Prime Minister is in New York attending the United Nations General Assembly. Like all other world leaders, they are there in New York and they are meeting different leaders, they're engaging different partners. That is what they do every year, once a year. This is the biggest world event or gathering every year. If Keith Mitchell was Prime Minister, he will be there. If anybody, they will be there at the United Nations General Assembly. So tomorrow, the Most Honorable Deacon Mitchell will address the General Assembly on our behalf. He will also meet with other leaders around the world because this is an opportunity to meet with other leaders because they are there to engage them in different conversations and, to push certain agendas. That's what it is. That's what they do, right? So it is known. Everybody knows that. That is where he is. But to say that he's in Venezuela, it's a blatant lie. It's a fragrant, lie and it's deceit. It's wickedness. It's wickedness. You don't do that. Also, everybody knows the United States of America, they have imposed tariffs on goods coming from countries, right? And once you buy from them, once you get stuff from the United States of America, it will attract 10% tariff once it comes from the United States of America. So this is known. So the price of the goods that comes from the United States will attract that 10% tariff. Grenada can't do anything about it. Trinidad can't do anything about it. Dominica, all the islands, small Caribbean islands, and small African nations. They can't do anything about it. Right? That's the United States of America imposing that on goods that you would purchase from them, that you would import from them. So she knows that. And that would ultimately affect the cost of living. So you can't run from that reality. And then we know that the United States of America announced that all packages going into the United States will attract a certain cost, no matter how small the package is. Before time, when the package is very small, they would not charge anything significant. So all the postal corporations around the world now, they're saying all these small packages, we can't send it because it will cost us more to send it than the actual value of the package. And it would run us into debt. The cost to send it is more than the profit. We're not making anything out of this. So it's not just Grenada, it's all around the world. But this woman, Emlyn Pear, believes that she's speaking to people who are not tech savvy, who can't research, who don't follow the news, who don't follow current affairs, who don't follow what's happening around the world. She believes that Grenada is in isolation, like Grenada is existing for itself. Emlyn Pear is a political fool. She's not smart. She's a political dumb. We're living in a technological age. Everybody has a smart watch, a smartphone, a tablet computer, or a tablet or a laptop computer, or some smart device. You can access information. So you come in and talk this nonsense. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling reasonable thinking people. You're not fooling Grenadians who are on top of their game. In fact, I don't believe she's even fooling some of her supporters. I don't believe so. Yes, there would be a certain segment or group that she will be able to fool, because you realize the NNP is not attracting young people into their party. If you look at their meetings, quite senior people who are attending these meetings and who are following them generally. You have to look at the demographic. Grenada is purely youthful. 65 or 66% of the population is under 45. And when you have a main political party having political meetings and events and not able to attract young people, it says a lot. The majority of people who attend these meetings are senior people. And it reminds me of Gary. It reminds me of the GLP when it was dying. It reminds me of the GLP gulp when it was dying and ready to be buried in the center cemetery, where you would see a lot of elderly folks, senior folks, going to these meetings. And you feel sorry for them. But the majority of the population was not going. That's how NNP has become. NNP has become an old GOLP party. Dark, lack of vision, all the meetings, you're seeing a whole pile of, senior elderly folks. That's what you're seeing to these meetings. But when the NDC calls a meeting, you don't see that rally. You don't see that rally. In Boucherjou, when I see young women and young men, Lord. You didn't remember? Or you forget? Boy, them damn woman look good. And they put on the nice short white pants. And the nice red pants. And they dials you up with a short. They have the NDC t-shirt, but they style it up and thing. And they looking nice. They're looking, You understand the point? Because NDC is able to attract the younger set of people. The young women, young men. And yes, the senior ones are there. The elderly folks, they're there too. But the NDC is able to attract young people. It says a lot. Are ready for a rally? Find NDC, you're taking long. Are you ready for a rally? I just enjoy that thing, So I am saying all of this to say that if you're a political analyst and you go to these meetings or you look at these meetings on your phone or on the TV, YouTube, or wherever, and you look at the people who are attending these meetings, you will know. You will know that the NNP is a dying breed. The NNP is a dying breed. They are not able to attract new people. And look, Emlyn does not bring to the fore newness. She's not coming with her own style. She adopted Keith Mitchell rancor, bitterness. When Keith Mitchell speaks on a platform, he's nasty. That's how he operates. He's a nasty individual. He's bitter, he's sour. And people can, through his voice and his tone and his words, and he's an angry old man who needs to go into hibernation, go in a storeroom, go and hide yourself. But Emlyn is not better than him. Emlyn is worse than him. But folks, Grenadians are seeing through them. And Michael Batiste is on NNP platform. Michael Batiste. This guy entered the politics 20-something years ago. And it might be even more than that. He has nothing new to offer. Same old Keith Mitchell style of politics. And rah, rah, rah. But Michael Batiste called into a talk show program let's say a year or 2 or 3 ago, right? And he had this to say about the NNP and Keith Mitchell.
Inconveniently, the Prime Minister is the biggest beneficiary of foreign interference in our local politics.
And folks, he's not talking about the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. He was referencing Keith Mitchell at the time.
In 1985, after the intervention, the United States of America, along with the Caribbean islands, went up to Union Island. The new National Party was not born in Grenada. The new National Party is a Vinci. The new National Party was born in St. Vincent, in the Union Island of St. Vincent. It was there that they put together a team, including Dr. Mitchell, flew a plane over Grenada in the 1985 election to keep the late great Sir Eric Gary from winning the election at that time. So the interference of foreigners in Grenada politics, Dr. Mitchell can't complain about that. He's a beneficiary of that, and the biggest beneficiary of that. Dr. Mitchell said he's going to write to the United States complaining about WRB. What a joke. I can't believe that. I can't believe, I did not hear it, but I take the word from the editor of Grenada Today that he said it. We want to ask the Prime Minister, E.J. Miller, an American con man, you guaranteed over 38 million US dollars for E.J. Miller, a United States fraudster, and you gave him 200 acres of lands in Mount Hartman for the building of a hotel. E.J. Miller did not even sprinkle one ball of gravel or a binder on the roads in Mount Hartman. He drew down on our monies and he disappeared. Prime Minister, were your hands frozen? Were your hands broken at the time? Did you write the United States government asking them to conduct due diligence on E.J. Miller before you grant him the millions of dollars in guarantee? What about Van Brink, Prime Minister? Did you write to the United States government about Van Brink? Van Brink came here, gave you a photocopy of a gem in lieu of the millions of dollars in the Treasury as required by law. You accepted that. Did you write to the United States government? What about Eric Steiner? That was a fraudster that was on the run. He was fleeing. He was a fugitive, fleeing prosecution in the United States. You met with him, Prime Minister. Did you write to your friends in the United States government asking them why Eric Steiner was a fugitive, why he was fleeing justice in the United States?
Yes, so folks, that was Michael Batiste speaking about Keith Mitchell. Keith Mitchell was Prime Minister then, not the most honorable Deacon Mitchell he's referencing when he says Prime Minister, Prime Minister. He's speaking about Keith Mitchell then.
States of America, how conveniently, when it suits you, you write to the United States. How about Lev Model? You remember him? Lev Model was an ex-convict. He spent years in a federal prison in New Jersey. Did you do due diligence on him? Did you write to the United States of America inquiring who Lev Model was? Lev Model not only was sheltered in Grenada, but he was given call center. And let's talk call center a little bit. Call center is a company that was owned by Dr. Mitchell's family, where he guaranteed $18 million in the first instance, and then the Patricia Twine, the accountant general, diverted $4.2 million from Cable and Wireless dividend to that company. So you're looking at a company that was given to Lev Model with $22 million of the Grenadian people's monies were put.
The government, oh boy, audio problem again. The government and people of Grenada will pay. So just a correction. Saying again, it was $9 million, $9 million as a guarantee and $9 million as a loan, We did not get any money back on that $9 million loan. We did not get that back. And we did not get, they did not pay the guarantee, the money back to the bank. So we had to pay. So you're looking at $18 million there, plus what he said was diverted from the sale of Cable and Wireless shares. So 22 point something million dollars went down the drain like that, and nothing came out of it.
Did you write to the United States of America inquiring who Lev Model was? Lev Model not only was sheltered in Grenada, but he was given call center. And let's talk call center a little bit. Call center is a company that was owned by Dr. Mitchell family, where he guaranteed $18 million in the first instance, and then the Patricia Antwine, the accountant general, diverted $4.2 million from Cable and Wireless dividend to that company. So you're looking at a company that was given to Lev Model with $22 million of the Grenadian people's monies were put in the hands of a con man.
Right. I don't know what the Patricia, is it Patricia Antwine he says there? I don't know if that is correct to say. The government of Grenada directed that 4-point-something million, right, from the shares of Cable and Wireless to go to that company. And the company was bankrupt. They had to pay the debts there. So I don't think it's correct to say it's the woman. She may have been the accountant general then, but the government of Grenada.
Did you do due diligence on him? Did you write to the United States of America inquiring who Lev Model was? Lev Model not only was sheltered in Grenada, but he was given call center. And let's talk call center a little bit. Call center is a company that was owned by Dr. Mitchell family, where he guaranteed $18 million in the first instance, and then the Patricia Antwine, the accountant general, diverted $4.2 million from Cable and Wireless dividend to that company. So you're looking at a company that was given to Lev Model with $22 million of the Grenadian people's monies were put in the hands of a con man, an ex-convict. Lev Model, did you write to the United States of America asking about Lev Model? Did you use the MLAT treaty? Did you write to the United States of America using the MLAT treaty, the Mutual Legal Assistance Treaty, which we signed with the United States? Did you write to them using that treaty to extradite E.J. Miller to Grenada so he could come here and face prosecution? I don't know why the Prime Minister is jumping and showboating like that. The Prime Minister must believe that all Grenadians gone senile. Now, the last time he wrote to the United States government was when he was asking for immunity from prosecution.
Right, so I don't know the last time he wrote to the United States government, so I can't confirm that. But that was Michael Batiste speaking there about Keith Mitchell, speaking about Keith Claudius Mitchell, the same guy who he went on a stage in Rose Hill with. Same guy. You see, Michael Batiste, I call him a political pothong. There are some dogs in your yard that you call pothongs, and they would eat anything and they would vomit. And when they vomit, they would go back and lick it up. That's Michael Batiste. He's a political pothong dog. They would eat all kind of things that not even food. They would bite up those things in the yard. And once they do that, they start vomiting. Regurgitation starts happening. So they vomit and then he licks it all back up. That is Michael Batiste. He's a political pothong dog that is irrelevant in the scheme of politics. He's outdated. He has no substance. But he forgot all what he said, all of these things. And he went back licking up his vomit on an NNP stage, and people are laughing at him. People are laughing at the guy. Even NNP supporters who are unlettered, they're laughing at the guy. They say the guy is a runaway political zombie. But at the end of the day, people are seeing through him. I want to wish Diane Alexander happy birthday. Today's your birthday, Diane. My good friend Diane, happy birthday to you. I wish you all the best, long life, health, and strength. You're a very nice person. Remain that way. You're a darling, you're a damsel. All right? Take good care and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Folks, I want to wish you all the best. Have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back with you hopefully on Sunday, God's willing, to dialogue, to converse. Tomorrow, our beloved Prime Minister will address the United Nations. So that too will be streamed live. Take good care and bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now.